The sleep won't come. Your heart races. Your mind won't stop. Have you ever felt like a prisoner of your own thoughts? Fear has a cruel way of making us feel alone, even in a room full of people. It whispers that nothing will work out, that you're not strong enough, that there's no way out. But what if I told you there's a power capable of turning your greatest fear into your greatest victory? In the next few moments, you'll discover the strength that's already within you, waiting to be unleashed. You'll realize that with God's help, no obstacle can stop you from becoming who you truly are, the true servant of the Lord, ready to do His work. Dear brothers and sisters, welcome to this special moment where we'll share experiences that touch our heart. How many times have you felt alone while facing your fears? Know that this is a safe space where we can be honest and find strength together. We all face moments of doubt and uncertainty. Fear can seem like an impossible giant to defeat, but today we'll discover together how to turn that feeling into a driving force for our lives. I remember a time when I slept in my car with nowhere to go. Fear was my constant companion, but something inside me told me that this wouldn't be the final chapter of my story. Faith showed me that I had a greater purpose. You know that moment when you look in the mirror and no longer recognize who you are? I've been there. The fear of failure, of not being enough, seemed to consume me. But I discovered that those feelings are only temporary. The truth is, fear only has the power we give it. When we learn to face it as a teacher, we begin to grow in ways we never imagined possible. Every obstacle I faced taught me that persistence is stronger than fear. Even when everything seemed lost, I kept my unshakable faith in better days. The secret lies in understanding that we don't need to have all the answers right now. What matters is taking one step at a time, trusting that we're being guided by a greater purpose. I've seen so many people transform their lives when they realized they weren't alone in their struggles. Sharing experiences builds bridges that strengthen us. Life has a unique way of preparing us for our destiny. Every challenge, every moment of fear, serves as a stepping stone for our growth. Remember, your story doesn't end in the difficult chapters. You have within you a strength you haven't fully discovered yet. Fear may try to paralyze us, but our faith moves us forward. No storm lasts forever. When I look back, I see that the most challenging moments were precisely the ones that helped me grow the most. Fear taught me to be courageous. You don't need to have all the answers today. Just keep your heart open and your faith strong. Tomorrow always brings new possibilities. Together, we are stronger. Your story of overcoming will inspire others, just as so many stories have inspired me along the way. Keep your faith alive, for it is your secret weapon against any fear. You are never alone on this journey. Imagine a violent storm at sea. Experienced sailors know that even in the worst conditions, there is a procedure to follow. In the same way, when fear tries to paralyze us, we need to remember that we have tools to navigate through it. Think of Joseph, who was sold by his own brothers and unjustly imprisoned. For years, he faced storms that seemed endless. But his story teaches us that every difficult moment was preparing him for a greater purpose. Fear is like an anchor trying to keep us stuck, but our faith is like a powerful engine that propels us forward. When we learn to turn our fear into fuel for action, we discover a strength we didn't know we had. I've met people who lost everything, jobs, homes, relationships, but refused to let fear have the final word. They understood that life's storms are temporary, but the character we develop during them is permanent. The question isn't whether we'll face fears, but how we'll respond to them. Every time we choose to take a step forward, even while trembling, our faith grows. It's like a muscle that strengthens with exercise. Remember, just as the sun always shines above the darkest clouds, our ability to overcome is always present, even when we can't see it clearly. I want to share with you the story of Marcus, a man I met in Chicago. At 45, he lost everything: his 20-year business, his home, and almost his family. Depression consumed him, and he couldn't see a way out. Marcus started attending our weekly meetings. At first, he sat in the back, quiet and skeptical. But something began to change when he heard the story of Job, a man who lost everything but maintained his integrity and faith. He set small daily goals, waking up early, exercising, applying for one job a day. Each small victory built his confidence. Marcus began to understand that his worth wasn't in what he owned, but in who he was. In Proverbs 16:9, we find, "The heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps." Marcus embraced this principle. He learned that he could make plans but needed to remain open to unexpected paths. In 18 months, Marcus not only rebuilt his financial life, but discovered a greater purpose. Today, he mentors other struggling entrepreneurs, sharing not just business strategies, but life and faith lessons. Job was a man of great success. Imagine a respected CEO in today's world. He had a loving family, thriving businesses, and was admired by everyone in his community. His life seemed perfect, like many of us dream of achieving. But in a short period, he faced devastating losses. His businesses collapsed, his children died in a tragic accident, and his health was severely compromised. It's like someone today losing their job, facing a serious illness, and going through a family crisis, all at once. What's most remarkable isn't just what Job lost, but how he responded to adversity. Even when his friends suggested he must have done something wrong to deserve such suffering, he maintained his integrity. In our modern world, how often do we feel judged or misunderstood during our struggles? Job's story teaches us that even in the deepest pain, we can maintain our dignity. He questioned, he suffered, he expressed his anguish, but he never lost his essence. This shows us that being strong doesn't mean not feeling pain, but continuing to believe even when everything seems meaningless. The end of Job's story isn't just about material restoration, it's about inner transformation. He emerged from his trials with a deeper understanding of life and a stronger character. As he himself said, "My ears had heard of you, but now my eyes have seen you." This story resonates deeply with our contemporary challenges. When we lose a job, face an illness, or go through a divorce, we can remember Job. His story teaches us that our circumstances don't define who we are, and that true strength comes from maintaining our integrity, even in the hardest times. My dear brothers and sisters, I see stories of silent battles and unexplainable victory, like that father working 2 jobs to keep his kids in college, or that woman facing chemotherapy with a smile on her face. I grew up in a neighborhood where dreams seemed like luxuries we couldn't afford, but I learned that our dreams are like seeds. They need time, care, and most importantly, faith to grow. Life is like that marathon many of you have run in Boston or New York. It's not so much about speed, but about the persistence to keep moving forward. When I think of perseverance, I think of Paul, who wrote some of his most inspiring letters while in prison. He turned his chains into opportunities to reach others. Let me share a secret I've learned over the years. Your greatest weakness can become your greatest strength. It's like that entrepreneur who lost everything in the 2008 crisis, but used that experience to create a financial education program that has helped thousands of families. Brothers and sisters, every sunrise brings with it a new opportunity to start again. It doesn't matter how many times you've fallen. What matters is how many times you've chosen to get back up. Keep your faith strong, for it is your compass in life's storms. Amen.